Welcome to Try It Tuesday. I'm Mike Collins. I'm with Collins Media, and I'm a Chamber Ambassador. And I'm excited about today's Try It Tuesday because it's going to be a little bit unique. We're going to be interviewing several of our officers with the Garden City Police Department. As you know, the City of Garden City is one of our primary Chairman's Circle sponsors for the Chamber. And so we want to spend some time getting to know the officers that keep us safe from day to day. Today we're going to start with Officer Foster here sitting with me, and we're going to just ask each officer just a few questions and just get to know them a little bit. And so, Officer Foster, tell me, what made you want to become a police officer? It's not the easiest profession. It's got its own unique challenges and lifestyle. So what made you want to be?
Somebody asked me at a kid's birthday party one day.
Really?
Yeah, he saw me. He's actually a lieutenant for the police department. He was a sergeant at the time, but he saw me interacting with kids, and I was just, never seen these kids a day before in my life at this birthday party. It was with my wife, and he saw me interacting. And I'm a big guy, so that's kind of, a soft, gentle heart, trying to interacting with kids. I always love kids, so kind of thought about it. I definitely always wanted to help people. I know it's cliche.
Yeah.
But I really genuinely wanted to help people, and at the time, I didn't see any other way to do it. So it was, I think doing this was actually a way to where I can feel like, I can do some real good.
Cool. I'm here with Officer Govea. Thanks for stopping by. Actually, this is your patrol vehicle, so thanks for letting us use your vehicle.
Sorry if it's dirty.
No, it's clean. I was just thinking when I was setting up that, you guys are kind of like in a cave in here, From the outside, it looks like, normal mid-sized SUV, but there is all sorts of stuff in here. Even just set up 2 GoPros was kind of a challenge.
Yeah, you get used to it, honestly. I think at the beginning it did feel cluttered and felt like I was in a kind of claustrophobic, but now I don't notice it. It doesn't feel that way. It feels like I'm in my car.
Yeah.
So, you just get used to it.
So, there's a lot of things, as a, someone who's not an officer that, even just like this car, we see what's on the outside, but we don't really understand what's on the inside.
Right.
What do you think, as a police officer, is the biggest misconception people have about your job?
One of the big ones, and I even see this on social media, is the quota. We have a quota. We gotta get so many arrests, so many traffic stops a month or a year, and it's not that way. A lot of people don't understand, and
I think it's worth talking about. I know it's probably an obvious answer, but if there isn't a quota, if that's not the motive for making traffic stops, what's the overall philosophy of, hey, this is why we do these traffic stops. This is why I'm stopping you if you run past the stop sign. What's the ultimate goal that's behind all of those stops?
There's a lot. There's a lot of reasons why. One of the big ones that I've just noticed in general with this department is when we do more traffic stops and we're out there visible, our accidents go down by a lot. There was, I can remember not too long ago that we did 50 or so traffic stops in one day, and we had no accidents. And then there's days that we're just so constantly busy with calls that we don't have enough time to do the traffic stops or just be visible on the street, and we're having those accidents back to back, or you just never know.
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Yeah. So the more you guys are kind of providing accountability in the community, that has a direct impact on safety in the community.
100%.
And I think any citizen would obviously agree it'd be better for, us to get a ticket than a life to be lost or, insurance claim to be filed. Obviously that's super, super important. I know that there's so many misunderstandings about folks who are in law enforcement, and movies and TV get things wrong about every profession, but certainly about folks in law enforcement. What do you think movies and TV get wrong about the lifestyle and the work of being a police officer?
So, I think in general, most shows about law enforcement kind of give that perception of we can solve crime like that, or that we can solve something within an hour or two. when that's not necessarily the case sometimes. I mean, sometimes it is, it just depends on what it is, but I mean, like when we send off things to labs for testing and things like that, we don't just get an instant hit like that, how people think, how it looks like on TV. I mean, sometimes depending on the nature of the crime, it could take a month, it could take a couple weeks, it just depends. So it's definitely not, we'll solve it in an hour or two or a day or two. I mean, it just really just depends.
So every job has its own stresses. I mean, I can imagine with your job,
Yeah.
how do you transition from what can be a really intense environment to going back home and decompressing? What does that look like for you? How do you kind of transition out of the officer phase if you can?
Yeah, some days are a lot easier than others, but for me it just starts with taking off the uniform, separating myself from the job, maybe taking 5-10 minutes just to kind of, you know, take a breath or two, and then once I step out of the uniform and I go out into my house and I see my wife and my kid, it's, you know, it's dad mode.
Yeah.
So I like to be active, you know, I like to work out, I like to go out and do things and just kind of engage to where I don't have to think about the job. And
That's good advice. Yeah. I know on behalf of our community, we really appreciate what you guys do. And that's not just cliche. I think our community loves the police department by and large, and are super grateful for all you guys do. There's so much, and we could spend hours talking about the things that the police department does for our community, that if you all disappeared tomorrow, we would be in a world of hurt, literally, and in a lot of other ways that aren't as literal. And so hopefully this content has been helpful. Thanks for watching Try It Tuesday at the Chamber of Commerce. We'll see you next month.